the Horror Show, and we're joining up with the Cops crew with the owners here, Jay and Marie Yates. And we are investigating the old Buckeye Jailhouse here in Buckeye, Arizona. So tell us, how did you come up with the Cops crew? How did you get started? And what are you guys about?
Well, Crossing Over Paranormal Society has been something that's kind of been like a work in progress for years now. I mean, we didn't really start getting a group together until probably about 2005-ish. So where we really started actually actively looking for, crew members. The problem that we were having is everyone we went to, everyone that we were coming across wasn't as serious as we were. And eventually, by about 2008, we really got crew members and we really got legit and started going out. So what we used to do is we used to go around and we would investigate historical locations. We got started really, and especially investigating like residential homes and private homes when we experienced ourselves in our own home demonic haunting. And we saw the hell that my children were going through with the paranormal, and we really wanted to go out and help other families that were struggling with the paranormal, and we do that at our own cost. So my crew, they're not a paid crew, they're all here by volunteer. Even my guys out here, even at this event tonight, you got guys in my crew that are so loyal to this cause that they come out here in their own time to come help us out and really spread the word about the paranormal and really educate people on what these devices that we use really do. And maybe help some people in the process.
And if you notice, a lot of our crew members were all different. I mean, some of our team members, honestly, they want to say that there is no ghosts.
Right.
So, I mean, we have all different ones like Buddhist, we have Catholic, we have a Wiccan.
We have skeptics, we have believers. And we really did that on purpose. At first, we were kind of like, I don't know, our roots were more like in Christianity, and we really wanted to focus on helping families, and we used religion, and there's nothing wrong with that, and we still do, but we found the importance of really having a diverse crew. The only thing that's pretty much similar amongst most of my crew members is they all work law enforcement, ex-military, firefighters, because integrity is the biggest issue for us.
Integrity is the big thing about everybody. When we actually get somebody in the crew, we do so much interview and learn the
process
background
of investigation is ridiculous. And speaking of investigating, we get so many cases, so many requests for cases. We have to be very careful because oftentimes, since us hitting on Travel Channel, Biography Channel, and random, TV that we've done, people just want us to come out. So I think.
So how do you judge? Hey, this sounds like a really legitimate thing, or I think you just want me to come to your house because you think I'm gonna bring cameras.
It's hard. I'm being completely honest. We have a whole team now that really helps with that. I have a case organizer, a crew manager, and myself who manages all the cases. So it's a whole process. I mean, really trying to figure out are these people crazy that are calling me? Number one. Are they going to try to kill me when I come into their house? Number two. And we've had a couple of those. I'm not even joking. You got to be really careful.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like guys with loaded guns sitting, in their lounger and stuff, freaking out and acting strange, locking doors behind you. Wow. We've been through it all. So.
One thing I don't want anyone to think is when someone calls and says their house is haunted, I actually am not going to call them a liar. You know what? That's what they believe.
Right.
To be honest with you, we can go out there with all this equipment and not pick up any kind of evidence, and most of the time we don't. I mean, we can't tell a ghost to move and make a noise when we're out there. A lot of times when you're actually
ghosts
seeing all the...
Ghosts don't show up on command.
Right.
And seriously, in all honesty, some of the worst cases that we've ever taken, meaning most malignant, darker cases that we've taken, we didn't get much evidence. But it was what happened when we came home. The nightmares that happened after the investigation. The things that started noticeably changing within our own lives after the case.
Do you have an example of one of those situations?
Absolutely. A couple of years ago, we took a case in the Phoenix Valley area, North Valley, we'll just say that. And immediately we started having activity in our home. We did an informal blessing in the home at the same time and hour that we were actually doing this blessing. And this person's home, our babysitter reported a birdcage being slammed across the walls.
Whoa.
I showed up to the mess, birdcage, twisted all around, everything upside down inside the cage, the trap turned upside down, water
She's actually
on the
here
floor.
tonight.
She's actually here tonight.
Oh wow,
So
is she?
Yeah.
Is she coming here as a guest or is she part of your crew?
As a guest.
As a guest, she's sort of interested more into it a little
I bet
bit.
she is.
But
But she wasn't really a hardcore believer. But that happened that same day. The next day, the people didn't follow the directives that we gave them, and they pulled back out the Ouija board from where we told them to put it and brought it back in the house to talk with it one last time.
They're teenage girls.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, you can't blame people for that. And it's not so much the board that's so dangerous. It's psychologically what that board really means to them in their own minds.
Right.
I mean, that really causes the serious issues in the home. But at that same time, an hour that they pulled that board out, we saw a phantom blood spot appear on our carpet, freaked us out, found a knife in a very unexpected place in our home. We just went through like straight hell and back,
Right.
like with activity in our own home.
A lot of people ask us, well, you say you bring it home and your children are suffering. There was a moment where I actually stopped and told him I'm not doing this anymore. Because I actually did see this happening to my children at home. And I was like, I'm not doing it. Well, it didn't stop.
So we'd go investigate this person's house, and this lasted for almost 6-7 months that we were investigating. But we wouldn't get anything in the case. We'd come home and activity would just go crazy, and
It was
even
attaching itself to you and coming back with you.
And even one of our crew members, Michael Papp, he had a situation to where we sensed something might have been going on at his home due to some things that were happening at our house, and we called him, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, why did you come over here?" No, we were talking about the case that we took.
And when I called you and asked you, well...
And when you guys called me at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I thought you were basically pulling a joke on me because I was seeing black mist and my couple knocks on my window and home mess ups and stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, dude, if you drove from Buckeye to Maricopa City, I'm
You're an
gonna
idiot,
be...
number one.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. You did mention something about a certain hotel earlier. That,
Again, our skeptic.
yeah, you weren't quite comfortable with.
He
the
screamed
situation.
louder than a girl that's
Yes,
like in
well-
the opera.
What I perceived
He jumped in
scared
our
the
bed
hell out of
in
me.
the middle of the
Simple.
night. So regardless, I mean,
Yeah.
we're pretty much sired to this. I mean, I've experienced paranormal phenomenon ever since I can remember, ever since I was a child. This is not like a part of my life. It truly is my life. I mean, this is all I do. Every waking moment is dedicated to Crossing Over Paranormal Society, Jay and Marie Entertainment, or panels and group discussions, anything and everything that has to do with the paranormal. And really the true motivation behind it is really to educate people. It's really one of those situations to where we really feel passionate about it. And I feel really called by God to do what I'm doing. And I mean, if I can help someone else out that otherwise wouldn't have had help. When I get these feedback from these clients after we leave and the situation's resolved and they're not having the problems anymore, which does happen from time to time. I mean, we're not out there to stop hauntings, but if we can educate people about why it's being caused and we can give them some information to help them to maybe lower the level of activity, it can make a difference between a marriage staying together or not, family being split up, but it's all for the cause of really helping out kids that are struggling with the paranormal, families that are struggling with the paranormal.
What kind of tips would you give to people who feel like, hey, I think I have some activity going on in my house? Like, what are some things that you would say would be triggers that would like, hey, maybe I should contact somebody?
When you start bringing fear and argument and all that kind of stuff into a home that already has some kind of activity, you're probably going to get more. I honestly think it's hold yourself strong. Steadfast. Don't whatever. If it's really bothering that much. If it's something that's not really bothering you, to be honest with you, I say it's really easy. Get a camera, get a little recorder that you can buy in a store, and start recording it.
We feel that spirits are built upon energy, and we can gauge them by electronic magnetic field finders. Thus, I think that a lot of that energy is not just produced by just themselves. I think we generate a lot of energy ourselves by emotions, arguing, fighting, and all the stresses of regular day, and it starts to build and build and build, and all of a sudden a loaf of bread goes flying across your kitchen. You don't understand why. Well, I mean, that energy has to go somewhere. It just starts bouncing around the house. We call that a poltergeist, which is a German word for a noisy ghost. But it becomes almost like a doorway to something bigger. And then it's like, you start opening that door to that, then it starts filling the house. And then the more fear that you put into it, and the more attention you give to it, it will just grow and build and build and build and build.
Have you ever experienced anything that provided you almost kind of like positive energy?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
All the
All the
time.
time.
I mean, the majority of the stuff that we come in contact with isn't dangerous, crazy, malignant. We seek those cases out intentionally because most people don't want to investigate locations that are demonically haunted or for liability reasons, and also because people that are really experienced in this field understand that you can get attachment from that. That's really serious. It's dangerous. So people understand that, and they try to stay away from it. If you really want to become a paranormal investigator, you're out of your freaking mind. I mean, this is the stupidest thing you possibly do. You're not going to get paid money for it. You're not going to get rich from it. You're never ever going to be satisfied fully with the evidence that you gather. You're always going to be seeking more and more and a bigger experience and crazier cases. It never ends, and then you have to deal with paranormal drama and Facebook ninjas and all these people that just want to attack all the work that you've done after you've put so much into it. You're out of mind. You're out of
You
your
can
mind.
have the most perfect evidence of something.
Full body apparition, fully solid.
And there's going to be more
Photoshop.
than so many people. Oh, that's Photoshop. It's fake.
Well, let's get back to the Buckeye Jailhouse.
Okay.
So I know this is not the first time you guys have come here.
No.
Do you
Oh,
want
no.
to talk about a couple things you've experienced while you've been here, or maybe other people who've been helping you out, or?
One experience I actually had is when that little room where actually they did use to do the fingerprinting and all that.
Mhm.
I am very big on investigating by myself. I can go in a graveyard, pitch dark, and want to be completely by myself.
Right.
That's the way I like to investigate. I don't want anyone else around. But I went in there all by myself, and all of a sudden I just kept hearing a woman whispering behind me. And it was the most, it was just like, okay, really? And you know, your mind, and I'm the type, I try to debunk everything. I have seen so much, I've had so many things happen to me, but I will try to even debunk everything he says. I really do. I'm like really bad about it. And I'm like, okay, what was that? I kept saying it was the pipes or something, and then all of a sudden it was just really loud.
Yeah.
Well, later on that night, I think it was you or somebody else. Somebody else went in the same thing and heard the exact same thing
And you
I
didn't
heard.
actually tell them that.
And I didn't even tell them because I keep my stuff what I go through.
Just to see
to
if
my-
somebody else has had the same experience.
I can tell you, like, one of the moments that I can recall myself personally here is myself and Michael Papp were back in the jail cell, and we both are, correctional officers by trade, and we're back there, and we had put on this act as if we were at work, and we're going by and we're locking the cells and lockdown, blah 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 blah, the normal jargon that you would do. And Pap actually redirected me into one of the cells that they said was solitary confinement at one point.
Oh, wow.
And then he shut the door, and after us provoking these things, I go in there and I'm hearing footsteps all the way around me. So like I had to, it's difficult, even though me doing it as long as I have been doing it, I had to kind of center myself and like, okay, cool. And believe it or not, like as a paranormal investigator, I'm kind of freaked out in the dark. That was one experience that really stood out for me, and just being back there in that jail multiple times, just hearing footsteps walking down the hallway.
Yeah, I know when I was back there, I was taking some photographs, and I was in the jail cell myself, by myself, and after a few minutes being there by myself, I was like, I think I'm ready to go now. I started feeling a little creepy. I felt like I wasn't there by myself anymore, and so I was like, I'm gonna start taking pictures somewhere else. Well, I would like to thank you guys for letting us come and join you and experience this with you. Where can our fans come to? Your Facebook page, your website?
Best place to get all of our information, everything's linked into our website. It's simple, it's thecopscrew.com. And from there you can link into our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitter, Instagram, Ghost Chat, all that stuff. So, yeah.
Well, there you have it, horror fans. Stay scared.
I mean, we came home to a scared babysitter sitting. I just touched your boob.
That's okay. This is YouTube.
But from there, like, we went through straight. I just touched your boob again. And, like, it's one of those. Because when I was going through all this stuff, when I didn't know any better, I just touched your boob again. You need to get those things away from me.